Hey guys, good morning. Sorry we didn't post any videos yesterday and stuff. I had to work a long shift, so I was exhausted when I got home. So a little bit more in depth about what I do. I'm literally, just pet care at my job. I do everything. I help the techs and the vet with, holding dogs, helping them get nail trims, anal glands. Yes, it's nasty. I hate doing anal glands. That's why I've fought so hard not to do them. And then we do a lot of cleaning. We feed the dogs. We have the dogs' medications. We check on them, make sure nothing happens to them, stuff like that. So that's what I did from 7 to 7 yesterday. I got like a 30-minute break because I need the hours. Now, Steve got a video ready for y'all about him coming out sort of to his mom. It's really funny, and whatever works for him, right? We all know our parents best. We know what they can handle and what they can't handle and stuff like that. So, here you go. Enjoy, and then I'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello again, YouTube. It is Steve, and I am back to tell you about my coming out story. In a previous video that you can find on Jake's channel, or it's sort of like a combined channel that we made up, Transbros, that's the name of it. You can find the first video on there, but I talk about how my job and being trans and all that, and I also mentioned coming out to my mom, sort of coming out, like not really, sort of. And in this video I want to talk about how I came out to her. For me it wasn't as easy as going, hey mom, guess what? I'm transgender. It was a bit of a process. She's not a religious person and she's not a bad person either, but she grew up around the mindset that being LGBT just wasn't normal or accepted, which made it more difficult for me to come out to her because I was scared to death that she was gonna do something crazy, like, I don't know, kick me out of the house or something, like tell the whole family, be ashamed of me. I was deathly afraid, and it didn't help that I was going on the internet and watching videos of like failed attempts at coming out to parents, so that probably wasn't a very good idea. I actually started with trying to discuss more LGBT-related stuff, like stuff in the media and the terrible stigmas that are on LGBT folk, and yeah, just trying to get her used to the idea. So this might sound really different from what most people do when they come out to their parents, but who knows their parents better than the kids, right? And I knew that if I came out straight to my mom like, hey, I'm trans, she would definitely freak out and she wouldn't take it very well. So I went about my own route, and this is how I did it. Don't judge me, please. So while I was researching the effects of testosterone and all that, I found something that talked about how women who are going through menopause use testosterone to help them out with that, and I was like, huh, okay, that's interesting. And then I was like, huh, wait a minute, I can use that. And so I actually went to my mom and I just casually started to explain to her, like, yeah, so like, you know how most women use testosterone to help their menopause? Well, guess what? You can also use it to help anxiety, which is what I really suffer from a lot, like every single day. Well, guess what? Here's the cure. And she bought it. She actually bought it. I felt so bad when I told her. I guess I was at a point where I was just really desperate and I wanted to start the conversation of getting on testosterone in any way I could, and that's how I did it. And I also mentioned how I just didn't care what other people thought of me, because I think that as a parent, you're going to worry about your kid no matter what, and one of her main worries was that what other people would think of me and what they would say to me and all that. And I was reassuring her, but I was also explaining to her that I just didn't give a damn about what other people thought of me. Who cares? Who cares about their opinion? I mean, it could be worse. There are worse things than being trans. I mean, come on. I could be a serial killer. I could be Dexter. I could be Hannibal. I could not have a good job, be a dropout, drug addict. I mean, there's tons of things that are worse, so I was ready to. Like, I was ready to use guilt, I was ready to use tears, I was ready to use threats, like, I'm gonna leave and go find somewhere else to live, and blah blah blah, angry words and big tough words, and yeah, but really I was just like scared to death. So as far as my dad not knowing and my brother not knowing, or the rest of the family still not knowing, I'm sure they're gonna know eventually when I get on T and start changing, so surprise!
Best kind of prize is a surprise.
That'll be me. I'm gonna like put a picture of myself up on Facebook after I start getting a beard and like after my face starts changing. I'm just be like, hey, so what's up? It is me, Steve, not female at all. But because I'm an adult and I can make my own doctor's appointments and go to them by myself, I made the appointment to go see my family doctor so that I could talk about getting on testosterone. Not for anxiety, but because I was trans. Yeah. If you guys are wondering what I'm holding in my hand, it's my fidget spinner. This thing actually works, you wouldn't believe. Like, all my students play with these things, and I wish I had this back when I was a kid. This really would have helped me a lot. Technology. We are in the future. But anyway, when I went to the doctor to explain my situation, she actually told me that she would call me back within 3 days, which she did not. Like a week passed by, and then 2 weeks passed by, and then 3, and then 4, and I was like, okay, you know what, you're not helping me, never mind. But I went home that day saying, hey, yeah, it was fine, it was great. The doctor said that, yeah, sure, you can take testosterone for anxiety, it's fine. You know, we'll just have to probably refer you to somebody because normally people don't ask for testosterone unless you are a transgender. And she was like, oh, and I was like, yeah, you know, it's just the way it is. And she was like, you're not gonna have to go to one of those meetings, right, with all the freaks? And I was like, nah, Mom, nah, we're probably not gonna have to do that, but, you know, that's, if I want to get rid of anxiety, then I might have to go this route, because she didn't want me to go on anti-anxiety medication because of all the crazy side effects, and my cousin is on anti-anxiety meds, and they just don't help her at all. Like, she says she's tired all the time, and she can't do anything. Like, she feels so exhausted and drained. Like, she feels like a zombie. And I was like, no thanks, I don't want to feel like a zombie, I'm fine. So for a while, my mom thought that I was going to start taking testosterone for my anxiety. That was probably the biggest lie I ever told in my life. And I feel really bad that I had to tell her that, but I guess I was just really desperate. And at the time, it just seemed like a good idea. It seemed like a good way out. It seemed like a shortcut. Like, I knew that eventually she would have to know that I was transgender because, I mean, eventually, within time, I would have to tell her. I would probably have no choice. But I was just kind of like, okay, well, I'll just cross that bridge when I get to it, but right now I'm just too desperate to be worrying about that, and let's just get this ball rolling, right? So then one day, she surprised me when she was like, okay, you know, fine, but we're not going to tell your father about this, and we're not going to tell your brother about this, okay? If they ask, I'm just going to say that you are taking it for your anxiety. And I kind of looked at her like, well, what do you mean, Mom? I mean, of course I'm taking it for my anxiety, right? And she was kind of like, yeah, well, yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. So I think that maybe she does know. I think she's known for a while, and she just didn't really want to bring it up because it would have been awkward. So I would bring up the topic again over and over. At the right moments, I would definitely wait for her to be in a better mood before I brought up any kind of LGBT subject. And I think she's getting more and more used to it now, which is good. And in the middle of discussing it one time, she was like, look, listen, I'm okay with the gay and the lesbian and all that stuff. Being gay is fine, but the changing your gender thing, that's just weird. So it was a step in the right direction, I think. We were getting on the right track, I think. Even though, I mean, I wasn't lying about that. I mean, I'm definitely gay as hell. I guess it was just really scary to put all of my personal business like that out on the table. But then I had to remember that it's my mom, and she loves me, and she'll always love me no matter what. And we have a very close relationship, you know, we always have. And I think discussing something like this made us closer in a way. Feel a little bit more comfortable walking around the house with guys' clothes, and I don't shave my legs, so when I wear shorts you can see that my legs are not shaved, and I walk up the door like that, and she sees me, and she'll comment about how nice my clothes are, how nice I look. So I think it's baby steps. I think that's what it takes. And I know that it's different for most people, like they just jump right into explaining to their parents that they're trans and get it done and over with.
Yeah, moms and dads.
But I couldn't do that only because I know how my parents are, so I knew what was the best route to take. And so do you. You know your parents better than anybody. So if there's like a certain method that you use to tell your parents that you're trans or gay or anything like that, then you do you. That's all I gotta say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day and stay awesome.
Hey, I'm back. That was an awesome video from Steve. He basically said everything that you should. I also do not shave my legs, but my mom still says that's disgusting. I'm not out to anyone besides a couple of friends. I think my sister knows, though. But, let's see. Steve's right. You know your parents best. You know how to explain things to them. You know how to let them know something's up, something's going on, something important's about to happen. You know them best. Obviously, you grew up with them, and they taught you everything they know. The appropriate things they know. It's really difficult because he's out to his mom, but I'm not out to anyone besides like a handful of friends. But you know, it works. You slowly, like with me, my parents, they like proof. So I am already going to be starting my therapy and going to a doctor and learning as much as I can, so when I do come out and tell them, I can say, have a letter from my therapist or my doctor. I can show them all these things that I did on my own because I was afraid of what they would do or say. I think I'm just gonna invite my whole family for my birthday, or maybe do it for a holiday or something, you know, when everyone's in the same room. It's really hard to have them look at me like I'm crazy right now because I don't shave anymore. My hair, I'm about to get a haircut, and it's gonna be even shorter than it was last time I got a haircut. And you know, I wear a lot more guy clothes. I walk like a guy, but I've always done that. That's never been really any different. You know, they're not used to the changes I'm making. I'm hoping they're slowly getting the hint that, hey, something's changing, and maybe it's for the better. Sorry, that was Steve texting me back. But I want our stories to be able to help you in the long run. I want you to know that you're not alone, and that we making these videos to help you, even if it just helps one person. I feel like that's an accomplishment in the end. You know, these are a lot of serious videos that we're doing right now. I'm hoping to change it up and make a couple of funny, you know, laughable videos. But for now, I want you guys to know our story. I want you to be able to ask questions if you have any. Don't be afraid. It's not like we're gonna tell anyone. But for now, that is all. Follow us on Instagram. I have a Twitter, and then check out my top surgery crowdfunding thing. I'll leave all of our stuff in below. Okay, in the description below. See ya.